Spider-Man 2 is the latest Sony release to send the entire gaming world into a collective gamer fever. Despite its numerous achievements, crazy sales numbers, and Game Award nominations, it's not all hand jives and hip thrusts. Spider-Man 2 has some foundational issues. Issues I think keep it from the upper echelon of Sony releases. Now, some of you might be saying, why am I going to listen to this faceless YouTuber? Well, there's one good reason. Unlike your favorite YouTubers, I'm not a sellout, advertising crypto, memberships, or pay to win mobile games. I need subs for that, so remember, subscribe. With that being said, let's start with what makes Spider Man 2 special: movement and combat. Swinging around the city in a video game has never felt better than in Spider Man 2. The way you move, climb, run, and swing around the city feels amazing and can keep you amused for hours. Exploring this game and hunting what are essentially meaningless collectibles actually feels great because any excuse to move around the city is a good one. The way you traverse around the city feels unique compared to other games out today and really helps Spider Man 2 stand apart. It's weird. Spider Man feels easy yet has some serious depth to its movement as well. You can also tailor the swinging difficulty to your liking, something I greatly appreciate. New York has also never looked better. The viewpoints are breathtaking, the draw distance is impressive, and the game allows you to build momentum as you traverse, pushing the PS5 hardware. In most games, it feels tedious when having to traverse from one side of the map to the other, yet in Spider-Man 2, it's welcomed with open arms. The movement is so damn good that it actually makes fetch quests good. Now that is an achievement. This movement and momentum extends to combat, which might be the most action-packed game on the PS5. Parries, dodges, crazy gadgets, and abilities. Everything in Spider-Man 2's combat builds up hype. The system is very pick up and play, letting you master the system over time and learn new abilities to add to your arsenal. At higher difficulties, the game has mechanical depth that punishes you, yet can also be accessible to casual fans. The game blends movement, timing mechanics, stealth, and combos together with absolute ease. As soon as combat starts to feel stale, the game introduces new abilities, new enemy types, and new challenges that push your limits. If you are looking for a game that is fun to casually play, Spider-Man delivers tenfold. Combat, movement, suits, plenty of side content. Spider-Man really shines on the casual level. However, below the surface, Spider-Man 2 has some problems that I can't ignore. The biggest issues for me were the character models and the lackluster narrative. First, let's start with the facial models. I thought they were laughably bad. For example, look at Mary Jane. Now, I don't know how old Mary Jane is supposed to be in this game, but let's just say if I wanted to find Mary Jane on an adult website, I would type in MILF. That says something. She looks 45. Peter looks like some dude named Trevor. He looks nothing like Peter Parker to me. Harry also looks odd. Miles and Craven look good and seem out of place. Everyone else in this entire game just looks weird or bad. The faces don't match their voices, their eyes go crazy, their hair looks fake. It's just bad across the board. Some people might like it, but to me it was distractingly bad. This leads to the story, which I thought was atrocious. For one, the pacing of the story is inconsistent at best. Constantly throughout the story, you'll be jumping from one story to another, killing all story progression and momentum in the process. It's like every time you start to build the story with a character, the game swoops in and pulls the rug out from under you. Like, hey, you forgot about the other Spider-Man. You'll be doing a serious mission and then check in with the other guy who will be doing nothing important. Some games are able to balance multiple protagonists. Look at GTA 5. Spider-Man 2, though, feels disconnected. Yes, both of them are Spider-Man, but that is the only thing that really binds their stories. Miles isn't connected to Venom, Craven, or Harry. His story is about Mr. Negative, which seemed put to the side for 90% of the story. At some points, Miles gets in the way of Peter's story. It's like he's forced on us to remind us there are two Spider-Man, as if to pad gameplay length. Does the game create some epic moments? Sure, but it also has some cringe and pathetic moments. I'm sorry, but playing as Veronica Mars, I mean John Wick, I mean Mary Jane, is pretty terrible. I am all for female characters, but forced stealth missions or shooting levels feel out of place and odd. Plus, look at the gun she uses at the end. It's more powerful than Peter or Miles. It takes one shot on some enemies. If Spider Man had her gun, the Venom fight would be over in seconds. Craven, despite being a unique bad guy, is used as the plot device and forgotten by game's end. Everything the game sets up with his character feels meaningless and he's just discarded for Venom. We fight hunters for 80% of the game and then gone, never to be mentioned again. The sad truth, this game was nominated for Narrative of the Year at the Game Awards. I get it, the game has cutscenes and cinematics, but just because it has a massive budget doesn't mean it has a strong narrative. The game also has laughably boring dialogue, terrible pacing, plot holes that are too obvious to ignore, and moments of pure cringe. For every moment of hype, there's 2 moments that act as a buzzkill, a joke that doesn't work, or a heartfelt moment that comes off as cheesy and preachy. Again, some people might enjoy the story, but to me, here in 5 years, you'll come back to this game for the gameplay, not the story. Out of all of the first party Sony titles, this game has by far the weakest narrative in comparison. So, with all this being said, I'm going to give Spider Man an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'm throwing in decimals. I want to give it a 10 when I just play the game and swing around. But then I see a character's face as I do a story mission, and I'm reminded that it's got some problems. Again, I think what the game does well is combat and movement, and those are some of the best in modern gaming and some of the best you can find on PlayStation. However, the facial models, story mode, and odd character choices really drag down the entire gaming experience for me. So, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to give it a like. I'd appreciate it. Down in the comments, tell me where I'm wrong, because I know some of you are going to completely disagree with me, and that's okay. So again, thanks for watching, and have a good one.